Hello, survivors, and welcome back to another episode of Will You Survive?
The podcast!
I am Alex, and I'm your host today. I'm joined by my co-hosts. There's Eric.
I'm Eric. I'm eating a donut.
And there's TJ. And he's going to be eating chicken.
Soon. This is our mukbang episode. Also, our ASMR episode. Here we go.
And, oh my God, no. No. I can't stand that ASMR shit. Knock it off. Okay. Today, we are going to be talking about disaster survival, namely the movie 2012. And this time, we all actually watched it.
That's
looking at two people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How are you
I don't know what
yourself?
you're insinuating.
In your room?
Oh, yeah. Nice deflection. Remember, when you point your fingers at me, there's three pointed back at you.
I don't know
do bite
what
my
you
thumb
could
at you,
possibly.
sir.
I do bite my thumb at you. Now, if there's anybody listening to the podcast who has not seen the movie 2012, let me just give you a quick storyline here. Dr. Adrian Helmsley, part of a worldwide geophysical team investigating the effect on the Earth of radiation from unprecedented solar storms, learns that the Earth's core is heating up. He warns U.S. President Thomas Wilson that the crust of the Earth is becoming unstable and that without proper preparations for saving a fraction of the world's population, the entire race is doomed. Meanwhile, writer Jackson Curtis stumbles on the same information. While the world's leaders race to build arks to escape the impending cataclysm, Curtis struggles to find a way to save his family. Meanwhile, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes of unprecedented strength wreak havoc around the world. Pretty good. What did you guys think?
Fun fact about this movie. Nicolas Cage isn't in this.
But I feel like he could be. I feel like any role that actor plays could be played by Nick Cage, and it would be the exact same movie.
You're talking about John Cusack?
Yeah.
He can just get rid of him. Just throw some... You can
that
imagine
part-
Nicolas Cage
wait,
in this.
What really
wait,
sucks, I just got that because I also recently watched the movie 1408.
Well,
that could have been Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it's so basically that scene where he, in the very beginning, where he runs in the house and they're all under the table during the earthquake, and he's like, "Get in the car!" And they're like, "I think we're safer under the table." And he's like, "Get in the fucking car!" I was like, I could totally see Nick Cage being in that scene. That could totally be him.
So, but about the movie. What did you guys think? I don't want to say too much first.
Well, so much plot armor. I agree. Very first thing, I actually read it in our live chat room right now. I think it was Josh who just brought up the limo would not have made it anywhere near as far as it did. Immediately, though, there's no way you're steering through all that and taking jumps in a limo. That car is done.
Well, I mean, limos are Lincoln Town cars. They're pretty beefy.
I don't know if any car can handle that, to be honest.
That is more accurate.
Yeah.
Because once you've jumped, I've done it with a car before, and small jumps. Nothing even remotely close to what they
Yeah,
did.
you think those engine mounts are withstanding friggin'
That
20-foot
that was
drops?
one thing. I blew out two engine mounts, and it was a 3-foot jump, and it was an old car, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a Toyota Tercel, and it was it really does make me feel old because I was driving a 1982 Toyota Tercel in 1995, and
Damn.
I jumped this little 3-foot chasm. It had a natural dirt ramp on it.
Were you one of those two
Shut
people
up!
in Ohio in like the 1800s who were the only people on the road who crashed into each other?
No, I didn't crash into anybody.
Oh, okay.
But I did break two motor mounts.
But you knew who
and
that was,
busted
right?
the axle. No, I didn't know who that was. Jesus. That's another one that somebody just said in the chat. Unless you are that driver or Vin Diesel. So
with the power.
Else.
Oh,
that's
it's
something
the
else
power
I brought
of family.
up. I literally said,
power of
why
family.
haven't they done natural disasters in, they can make it, like on their level of science fiction where they're like, oh my God, they're going to set off the earthquake machine.
That's right.
Yeah.
And all we have is family to stop it, and then just imagine
right.
Vin Diesel in a muscle car, and then freaking Paul Walker comes back all CGI. It's been a long day. And then they freaking all come together, him and his little Japanese car, freaking The Rock comes back big ass like truck, you know, and then they like, you know,
But wait.
they drift the fault line.
I
back
need to
into
know
place.
something. Hold on. You need to explain something. You need to explain something to me.
What?
How do you really feel about The Rock?
Fuck The Rock. He sucks ass. I don't like this man. He sucks as an actor.
I disagree with that. I will say the whole Maui Fires thing where he was like, donate to us so that we could donate back to our community. And then everyone's like, aren't you a multimillionaire?
So I definitely like all of this banter with this movie from the live. Chances of survival in a 2012 event in real life is 1%.
Less than.
Possibly accurate number. I don't know the number, but
way less than. There's no way.
But then I really love Josh's comment: Vin Diesel versus the earthquake.
Yeah, that's what
That
I'm
would have
saying.
been. That's your idea.
Like, no,
San
'cause,
Andreas is going off. You need to go and drift your car and push that fault back together so it
'cause,
doesn't separate.
In one of I forgot which one. It was probably like Fast 5 or something. They're on like a collapsing parking like garage, and they're like fighting, and then he like stomps the concrete and it cracks and freaking falls down. Like he's an earthbender, bro. He can stop he can stop the fault line. With
That's
the power
true.
of family, you can do anything. A quarter mile at a time, brother.
A quarter mile at a time. Well,
and
I agree.
so let's
Now that limo would have
Divert.
exploded.
divert away from the limo a little bit.
Well, one more thing about the limo
Okay.
before we divert. There's no way that those wheels are still turning after like 2 of those jumps. I can't
Also-
imagine that your back wheels and your front wheels are still connected.
There's glass. There's like sharp shit everywhere. I'm sure all of the tires would have been popped. You know?
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah. So one of the things that I would say about this, I liked the point that they were making with the whole theme of John Cusack and his family, which was he was willing to do anything it took to rescue his family.
It
And
seemed like every parent was in that movie.
well, what was interesting about it that they did in this movie was he was like adamant to save his ex as well.
Plus the mother of his kids.
I don't know what that's like. I know the mother of my kid. I would leave her.
Well, so here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm not 12 or 9, and
I'm not sure I would have saved her back then.
No. Hear me out.
that's I
Still
it's
clearly
fair.
had feelings there. You know,
Yeah.
he was
It's
still,
true. It's
he was
true.
like, yo, fuck the stepdad guy. You know, like
Well, wait a minute. Gotta hang on really quick. Nerdy Vet in the comments.
Yeah, we got to fact check that one.
The
It's
Russian
opposite.
wasn't? Absolutely not. It seemed like it at times that he put himself before his kids, but at the very end, all he wanted was to get his kids on the ark. He was
right.
willing to save his last kid, and
he sacrificed himself. He
he
freaking
sacrificed
launched
himself.
that fat ass kid into the air.
Yeah, that Russian was dope. I liked the Russian guy.
I agree.
We take
I agree, but there was a
We take the Bentley.
there was a lot. Oh yeah, right. Shut up. Engine start.
I love that guy. Now,
Only
he's a little
because
out of touch with reality with how much fucking money he has. But the guy cared about his kids, and that was his main priority.
Oh. Nerdy was talking about the girlfriend.
Oh, hey, he didn't give a shit about the
He
girlfriend.
didn't give a shit about the
No,
girlfriend.
because,
That's
but
like-
to
true.
be fair, she
That's
was
true.
sleeping with Sasha. So
That's
like,
true.
he
Oh,
knew.
it's true.
Okay, but
It's
hear
true.
me out. I would have still taken her because, like, I don't know if money would even matter if the whole world is gone.
But-
you know,
but,
so
okay.
I'm
He only
taking
had
her
3
with me.
tickets.
So we got.
He only
Hold
had
on.
3 tickets.
You want to
So-
know the fucked up thing about it?
Chuck one of
The
them
fucked
kids
up thing
down.
about it was he never bought her a ticket.
Yeah, he never
Yeah,
bought her a
but
ticket.
That's kind
But
of
okay.
That's kind of
To be fair, they were €1 billion per ticket.
€1 billion.
how much
So
money
per
does
ticket.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He must have. He's Russian. I don't know.
He's Russian. He must have a lot of money.
How do Russians have money? Do they have oil money?
Well, he was a business tycoon, so he was probably just
Okay.
massively corrupt.
So he's just. Yeah, okay, never mind. I was going to compare him to somebody, but.
Oh, and the freaking the only reason that our main character even knew about said arcs is because of those little Russian kids.
True.
Oh, my daddy
Yeah, that's
has,
true.
we have tickets for a ship. Fuck you.
And
then
you're
got on the
gonna
plane.
die.
Yep, little fuckers.
You know, their attitudes did change by the end of the movie, though. It's like it kicked in that they were like, oh, no, people are really dying. This isn't just like, it's hard to distance yourself from it when you're watching it in front of you.
So let's try to separate some things from this movie, okay? We're going to try to separate the real from the spectacle. In the of course, the LA scene was heavily focused on the earthquakes.
Yeah.
We know in reality, even the worst of all earthquakes, I think the highest recorded so far has been in the 9s in Northern California. But nonetheless, you don't have things like this happening in reality. Now, they use
Not
some of
often.
the things and that tectonic
The
plates
sun
and all of
thing
that. But
is heating the core, and it's doing things, and then that happens. Is basically
well, okay. The reason why I'm not, this isn't ridiculous. Okay, I've watched documentaries regarding the magnetic fields of the Earth. That the sun's rays do strip away the magnetic field like layers of an onion being peeled back. And once it reaches a certain point, it will peel them all the way back. The Earth will lose its magnetic poles. It will spin on hundreds of axes rather than the one that it has, and then it will recenter. And it will have a new pole similar to what they did in the movie.
Which we've talked about that in this podcast, the idea of the pole shifting.
It's happened in history.
It's stupid for me. It's stupid that I didn't consider the tsunamis that would clearly happen if the world just fucking free spun for a bit before finding its magnetic poles again.
Well, the sad thing about that, the wonder is, would it happen that way? I don't know that it would. There's no evidence in the what is that word? Archaeology.
It would have to be like the tectonic plates would have to shift so fast, I think.
Right.
For it to cause that massive of a
even
wave,
when that happens, see, there's some contradicting evidence, right? You look at the land and there's no evidence that there's been a tsunami that large that has covered all land or a majority of land on the earth, right? But then there is. That's why there's contradictory evidence. There's people who believe because there is evidence to support a worldwide flood,
Yes,
right?
that's,
Then there's contradictory evidence that says it wasn't rapid. But then there's more evidence that says it was, such as in Antarctica, there's evidence that there are tropical plants on the land far below the ice. How did that happen? That would have had to have happened by massive flooding and then rapid cooling before the floods could recede.
Yeah.
Right. So that would kind of support the idea of a pole shift, which none of this has happened in human history. No humans have ever, at least not in written human history, like where humans could have written down what they experienced.
I don't think anybody listening to this will ever be alive to
if something like that happened.
this.
You're forgetting like the main point. You're acting like I'm gonna let this happen. I'm not gonna let this happen to you guys. I got you.
All right. I feel better
can stop
already.
it.
All right.
How are you going to stop it?
Power, family, quarter mile at a time.
Oh, actually, I trust this guy with my life.
Whether you win by an inch or a mile, a win is a win.
It's the driver, not the car.
It's my drive. It's my button. No.
So
We stay hungry, we devour.
Fuck you.
Wait,
Dwayne
is it-
Johnson.
isn't that your hero's song?
Yeah, it is.
So much. It's a
I don't know
meme.
why.
It's a meme. I
So-
Tech
It's honestly
Nine
a
now.
banger.
Tech Nine's
Let me get back
fire.
to the reality of this.
That's
the
the song.
reality of an earthquake, a major, right? It will be catastrophic. A major 9+ earthquake. There's evidence to support that a 9-point something earthquake in California could last for an extended period of time, meaning it could cause shaking for minutes.
Didn't Alaska have like a 9-point something?
Yes.
That was pretty fucking devastating.
It
Yeah.
was very devastating. Yeah.
So but LA.
LA is far more populated than Alaska was.
Now, I don't know if actually, I don't know if Alaska builds their architecture with earthquakes particularly in mind, because I know California does. Almost every building is built with earthquakes in the back of the mind, thinking about that, especially
Yes.
our skyscrapers. But if a 9-point something hit, we've seen something similar to this on the show 911. Do we think skyscrapers are falling?
So it's
bad-built
a
ones.
possibility. It's a possibility. Okay, so the just to answer the question in the chat, yeah, the 89, but we're talking about the 64 Alaska earthquake. That was a 9.5, and it was nearly 5 minutes long. So
That's so long
5
for an
minutes
earthquake.
at that magnitude. I mean, the
That's
entire fucking earth is like the earth is moving underneath you.
I think that's enough to think the world is ending.
Right.
When it's going on for 5 minutes.
Right.
That's insane.
So with that, all of that can cause devastating effects. But mind you that even if the buildings don't fall, I don't want to say that's the least of your concern. It's not the least of your concern, but the buildings don't. That's the beginning of your concern. Let me say it that way. The buildings falling or not falling is only the beginning of your real concern, because after that, you're going to have problems with electricity. You're going to have a problem with sewage. You're going to have a problem with fresh water. You're going to have tainted water all over the place, sewage backing up, coming out. Disease is going to start running rampant. That's the kind of stuff that you can expect with a major catastrophic earthquake like that.
Yeah, the stuff that happens in this film, that's not going to happen. Like the whole California in this film just like slid into the water. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But
So,
infrastructure.
but tsunamis are things that happen after earthquakes. How bad of a tsunami? If we were to get a 9 point something here in LA,
Well, tsunamis occur for a very specific reason. It's the tectonic plates slipping underwater. It's not just an earthquake.
Yeah,
So-
the plates, plates are constantly moving. They're like this, right?
yes.
But if one gets under another and that pressure starts to build, it'll snap. So all the water that's here goes up
Pushes the water.
and then it goes this way.
Oh,
Yep.
That's why when
yeah.
tsunamis
Okay.
happen, the water gets pulled. It's because it's getting pulled from the snap. It gets pulled, this way. And then
Yeah.
it starts
So
to settle.
Man, thinking of the magnitude of that, a whole fucking tectonic plate
So
snapping
if
up.
you want to
insane.
see a good comparison of why tsunamis are so devastating, and how they become so big, is I realize that TJ was exaggerating his hands right now when he was showing you, but you can see an example of a tsunami from something as small. Now it's not small, but as small as glaciers breaking off in Alaska. They cause enormous swells to rise up. And then if you look at where that water lands, like hits shore, how far that water goes inland and then comes back out. And it's just from a glacier breaking off. And you can see from the land up there, it happens all the time. So people do this all the time. They'll go on boats just to watch these glaciers break off, and they know how to survive it and stuff like that. It's not catastrophic. Some crazy people do this in canoes. So that wouldn't be my style, but in any case, what you would see is an overlapping of tectonic plates, one above, one below, and they typically ride over each other smoothly. But when it moves too quickly and it will push against the other tectonic plate, then you will see massive land shifting, and you're talking about miles and miles and miles long. And all of that water gets displaced, and that energy has to go somewhere. It's going to go to land. So that, and of course, remember that like the Japan one that happened in 2011. Japan suffered so badly because the fault lines that caused the earthquake are so close to Japan.
Ring of fire, baby.
Well, that's South America.
That's
one was
all like it's surrounding the Pacific, isn't it?
No, it's the Ring of Fire is specifically South America, Chile, all along the coast of South America. It's always on fire. It's always a volcano. And basically, the tsunami that hit Hawaii, I think that was also in the 60s. Let me just look that up real quick. But the tsunami that hit Hawaii was, it also hit Japan. And that was what Japan modeled their tsunami protection off of, was that earthquake, because that was believed to be the strongest earthquake possible in the world. And when a larger one closer hit, of course, all of their tsunami barricades and everything, the tsunamis went right up and over those walls, and it was absolutely devastating.
So I have something pulled up. If you put it on the screen, Eric.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's the whole Pacific
that's
plate.
the Pacific plate, and then there's like all the plates around it. That's
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah. So and Japan's right there. So that's a big.
I've never seen it like that. I'm gonna go because we want to take the kids to the Natural History Museum, and I just learned recently that it's free to go for Los Angeles residents.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. So I want to take the kids there. And what's funny is I remember this, the Ring of Fire display, but they only show it to you as a South American destination.
Yeah, it goes all the way like
it's a ring.
South
Mind
America
you,
up and then next to Alaska,
So the one that I was talking about was in 1960. That was a tsunami caused by an earthquake off the coast of Chile that traveled across the Pacific Ocean and hit Hilo, Hawaii. And it actually continued on to Japan and caused, let me see. I'm sorry. This is from the USGS.gov. And when it hit Japan, that was why they modeled their whole thing off of it. Their whole tsunami warning, not only their warning, but they also have, because they have channels that run directly through their island that are supposed to allow the ocean to travel through them instead of coming on land. So it's supposed to channel all of the water through. They close their tsunami gates, and the water's supposed to hit those walls and go into the channels and go straight through the island safely onto the other side, the China Sea. And that's supposed to save them.
Go ahead,
from it.
China.
Well, the problem was that the water kept rising and rising and rising because in 2011 they didn't model the walls high enough. Now there's a story that I read that there's one particular town in Japan that completely survived unscathed because the mayor at the time fought, got higher tsunami walls. He said that wasn't high enough, that they were going, I think they said 5 meters, and he went 15 meters, and they mocked him, they scoffed at him, and they actually impeached him because he did force this through. And his sacrificing his livelihood and everything is what saved that town during 2011 tsunami.
So they rehired him, right?
Well, they put his name up. He died already. But they put his name up on the wall.
Sorry, dude.
So I mean, it was that's pretty intense. But to get back to real life here, well, this is real life. But to get back to the contradictions, shall I say contradictions? What would you call it? Well, not contradictions. The contrasts between reality and the spectacle of Hollywood. You also have the supervolcano that was shown, Yellowstone erupting. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that would actually happen. The eruption, the pyroclastic flow. Now, I do have a little bit of a problem with it because they all got hit by the pyroclastic flow, including the plane, and everybody was fine. That flow is, I think, over 200 degrees.
You're talking about the black smoke?
Yeah,
The
that blast.
Yeah.
That initial blast. Because it's all hot, superheated air from all of that lava, and it comes out from the explosion. So I mean, it would have melted that RV. And by the way, it the flow travels at hundreds of miles per hour, so it would not have been like outrunning it in an RV or a small propeller plane.
I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense. The initial blast of a volcano. I don't know much about volcanoes because I've never really lived around one.
You
So,
didn't pay attention
I wanna
in class, dude?
I know the basics of volcanoes, but I didn't know that. Like that makes a lot of sense that the initial burst would disperse all that hot air.
No, it doesn't always happen
scalding
that way.
air.
It doesn't always happen that way. There are plenty of volcanoes that erupt upward. They release their vent, and then the magma spews out. It doesn't shoot out like that, right? So there's plenty of different types of volcano.
Yeah.
But this particular type, if Yellowstone were to go off like that, that's what they expect it would do.
It would
Volcanoes are wild.
absolutely cover just everything in like ash, and you wouldn't be able to see the sun. And then
It'd be a new ice age.
Acid rain.
essentially, But
Yeah, acid rain. And then the ash cloud would block out the sun for years. So the earth would not be a farm country anymore, and you
well,
would
at least
have
our side of the earth.
the United States. It would mostly be if Yellowstone went off and no other supervolcano. If Yellowstone went off, the whole western side of the United States would become pretty much infertile for a while.
You think
But-
the eastern side would still be okay?
I think so, but it would the people would suffer. You would have to move out of there right away because the jet streams would push all of that air, all of the ash cloud to the east.
All the way across the...
And it would circle the globe. So you would have ash all over the globe. And depending on how bad the ash cloud is, because it is so, caustic, it's so bad for your lungs, people would die just from breathing it in without respirators or protection.
Is there any sort of technology that our government has to, like, let's say Yellowstone does erupt. Let's say that ash cloud is moving. Is there anything the world governments could do to try and minimize the effects of that ash cloud? Is there any sort of like capturing and dispersing or?
No, because once it's there, it's there. And you can't capture it because it's going to be carried by the jet streams miles above the ground.
Like, think of like wildfires. You have a wildfire in freaking Canada, but it'll reach all the way,
That's right.
States
right.
away, That's all the air currents and stuff up high, and it'll cover the earth.
Now, my only point with my only thought there is that with a fire, you got bad air quality and ash maybe raining down on you, but it's not common that you hear people dying of the air from fires blowing through. But I think something like a super volcano going off would cause a lot of people to die. So I think there would be different procedures and maybe more concern for it rather than just fire smoke blowing across the states. It is what it is. You're going to have a few bad days of air quality, but you'll be okay. That's very different with something that could kill you. And so I wonder if the governments have anything that they could do to try and minimize those effects, maybe prevent acid rain in some way. I guess this all goes down to how much do we think they can actually manipulate the weather?
Well,
can they actually
weather is one thing.
Yeah.
So mind you that volcanoes, earthquakes.
Well, yeah, this is a little more
these
than
aren't weather.
These are natural disasters.
Now, I still think that there's possibility to cause and create. I don't know, right? I'm a conspiracy theorist. I admit it. But just to reiterate a couple of the comments here, I would never trust the government, especially after watching this movie, right? The government's not there to help you. They're there to help themselves. I think you've said that. You said that in one of the past episodes.
Yeah.
Is the government is very efficient at benefiting themselves.
Think about it.
They're highly inefficient at helping anybody else.
I'm not saying that they would do this out of the kindness of their hearts, but I do think something that could affect the air around you. I think there might be a little more concern to, okay, let's at the UN, let's have a meeting and see if there's something we could do about this.
I trust the UN even less than I trust the U.S.
Think
government.
about it.
I
In the
agree.
movie, what was the government's first
I just
move?
wonder if they would protect themselves, save
Protect
themselves.
the fucking art. They were...
Yep.
They packed up the Mona Lisa, the freaking, all this stuff, and then they started making ships for the wealthy people.
I do think there's so the whole wealthy thing was, I think, very realistic and I think very dumb. That it's incredibly stupid that the wealthiest people are going to be the ones to survive. That's not.
But that wasn't just it.
Well, they said
funded it by giving the wealthiest people tickets.
Yeah,
selling them tickets.
The idea was to get the genetically best people to ensure that the human race goes on.
Do you not see the irony in what they did? They actually carried out Hitler's plan.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
They found the master race through genetics and said, you all get to survive because these super rich people are going to pay for this project to happen.
I'm holding myself back.
Well,
why?
I was gonna say, then why are there black people on there? Warning, I'm black, guys.
Warning.
DJ's black.
The warning never gets old.
Warning, he says.
I will say a part of me understands it because the part of me understands it because there is some sort of, I guess, criteria that you could follow to ensure that the human race would survive. You get doctors, you get lawyers, you get people who can really contribute to society to be on this arc that's supposed to rebuild society going forward.
Get rid of the short people, only people over 6 foot.
Ha 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 ha.
People with good mustaches,
But the way that they went about it was definitely fucked up because it starts to beg the question, who's deciding what these qualifying factors are to ensure that the human race goes on? because you have that
Well,
new president, the
guess who
guy
that
who
was?
took over.
That was the government.
Well, yeah. So that's where like I see the idea for it, but again, like anything the government does, they always fuck it up.
Yep.
So it just doesn't seem like something you should allow the government to do.
Because they're using money it won't even matter after the floods. I think if they just got everybody, let everybody know what the fuck was happening, enough people would help, to make the ships. And, as long as you get your spot on there, I don't know. I have faith in the human race sometimes,
So what I wanted to get to in this, the realism versus the spectacle that Hollywood created. We're putting aside the spectacle. We're going to go with the realism. The earthquakes that would occur would be devastating, no doubt. You asked, would the buildings collapse? Some buildings would collapse. I'm sorry. I know they've retrofitted all of that stuff, but the fact of the matter is when you go above 9 point on the Richter scale, that is more than anybody can actually anticipate.
And we're talking the earthquakes. If the earthquake causes a volcano to erupt or a tsunami, that can also cause things to, because ash is falling on things, so that'll collapse buildings, and then the water.
And there is a super volcano in California as well.
Well,
so if the San Andreas goes off,
there's no like our buildings are built for earthquakes. They are all designed for that. All of our big giant skyscrapers are very intelligently designed to wobble with earthquakes.
What I'm telling you is,
I know what you mean. Like we've never dealt with an earthquake that strong, and it would be a guessing game of whether or not the buildings can actually withstand that. And then in this movie, I think they said it was a 10.7.
Right.
I didn't even know the scale went past 10.
It doesn't.
I thought 10 was the max.
It's just the strongest earthquake ever known to man.
Oh, there was a 10?
So, well, there's a hypothetical 10. So, but nowhere have they actually
Gotcha. They have no evidence
10.
of it actually happening. Gotcha.
So, but the idea is remember that the Richter scale is not linear. It's exponential.
Yeah.
So,
because like a 5 is nothing, a 6 is nothing, a 7 is something.
6 is something, right? 5 is something. You're going to feel it.
Well,
like,
6 is like, whoa, that was kind of something.
3s and 4s, people don't notice. 3s and 4s, you're like, whoa.
Well, 3s and 4s you think is the trash truck.
5, people feel, oh, that was an earthquake, right?
Mm-hmm. We've had a few of those recently.
6 and up, you know it. That's the kind that it rattles people. They're like, holy shit, you're familiar with earthquakes. You know what they feel like. You don't easily get rattled. A 6 is going to rattle you.
Well, yeah, there was a 6 point something when we were in that restaurant in Burbank.
No, that was a 5.
That was a 5?
Yeah, we haven't had a 6 in quite some time.
Really? When's the last time we had a 6?
Not near us. Not something that we've.
Okay, when's the last time LA felt a 6?
On the government, like preparing.
Well, not felt. What you would want to say is, when was the last time LA experienced a 6 point? It'll be like, I'm thinking it was Northridge, and that was huge, and I think it was only a 6.4. But
6.7 in 1994. Yeah,
and that was. And I mean, I was out in the suburbs, 30 miles east of Los Angeles, which is about 40 to 50 miles away from the
back
epicenter.
When you were 45?
Shut the fuck up. So I'm about I'm going to say 40 miles away from the epicenter, and it shook the hell out of us like we were on liquid land, like it all of the ground was turning to liquid. That was a real earthquake. That wasn't the kind that you're describing, and that was just a 6.7. Now you get into 7s. The last 7-pointer that I remember, there may have been some in between, but the last one I remember was in San Francisco, and that one took down the Golden Gate Bridge, like one of the layers of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Wait,
or was that an 8?
Where's Ridgecrest, Trona?
I'm not familiar with Ridgecrest.
Okay, there was a 7.1 in 2019 in Ridgecrest, which is in California somewhere.
A 6.8 in 2001 in Seattle. That caused a little bit of damage.
Where's Ludlow? Do you know where that is?
I'm not familiar with that either. I'm thinking that these are pretty far away. Ridgecrest is up near Nevada.
Yeah. It was the Nevada border.
Yep.
Yeah. The
So-
Bay Area.
But
Damn.
you guys keep diverting me of the point that I'm trying to make here. Survival in a realistic setting. What I wanted to say is a 9-point earthquake, 9-point something. I mean, even an 8-point something, but we're going ridiculous and saying a 9-point something. The beginning of your concern is going to be these buildings surviving that.
Yeah.
They will most likely, there will be some that are going to come down, not because of faulty construction, blah, 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 but just how devastating a 9-point plus earthquake
when
is.
the ground is literally cracking and raising and falling all around you.
I don't know that it'll do that. I haven't seen anything like that. It won't open up and create chasms like that.
I mean,
unless
not
you're
like-
talking about over the subways, sure, but
Not like a chasm down to hell, but like you even just look at the Alaska earthquake. There was roads that were straight up like multiple feet higher than the other half of it.
So that's going to be your first concern is those buildings coming down. People will have to get out of Los Angeles. Something that I haven't thought about that I just researched regarding the Florida hurricanes is everybody in Los Angeles having to evacuate, right?
Oh yeah.
We're not talking about, you don't have an option. You have to evacuate. So once again, something I always say, what is a survival tip? You guys have heard me say this a million times. What is a survival tip on getting out of LA when all of these millions of people are going to be leaving at the same time as you?
I have an idea.
Yeah, what?
Get a motorcycle.
Well, okay, but if you don't have a motorcycle and you're not willing to steal one, what is a survival tip that I always say? No, you got to get out because you don't know these buildings are going to fall.
Take the elevator. Make sure to take the elevator in.
Make sure
case
to
of
take
a
the elevator
earthquake.
after the earthquake. Oh wait, different movie.
No, but solid advice.
You guys aren't thinking of my survival tip. I always repeat this. What you should always do. It's regarding travel. I don't want to give you too much of a hint.
I feel like
Gas.
I've never heard this.
What is it?
I always have gas.
Oh,
You
always have more than a quarter tank.
half. Always keep your gas tank above a half a tank
That's never gonna happen with me.
because you are going to be sitting for so long in traffic.
That it'll burn.
You
your
will
gas.
need at least a half a tank.
And
right.
if
you
it's
can
a
have
situation
more,
like this, the gas station is going to be packed.
you know it. And all of the people like Eric who have only a quarter tank or less.
I have you. It's okay. Like we're gonna take 2 cars in that mess. What?
So that was one. Now, regarding the super volcano, again, this is another case of you can't hunker down. It's going to go off. It goes off in, you're being warned, right? They're telling you, hey, this is coming. You got to get out now. You have your half a tank of gas or plus. Let's say you were prepared. You have a full tank of gas and you're bugging out. What kind of things should you take with you in your car when you bug out?
You should take your bug out bag. You should always have.
That's what I was gonna say.
You should make
That's
sure
what
to
I
take
was gonna
yourself.
say.
You should, but what kind of stuff should you have in your bug out bag?
First aid kit, shortwave radio, short-term food and water supply.
Make sure not to take
some
the
sort of
I-5.
fire source,
I-5 sucks.
What was that?
fire starter of some sort.
Something
Let's
for
see.
shelter.
I mean, those would be like the main things to like a knife. Just the basics.
What about for longer term support regarding your water supply?
a life
maybe
straw or a filter of some kind.
Yeah, life straws, filters.
So what's the
Solar
common saying?
still.
What's the common saying? One is none. You know the rest?
I mean, I've heard it, but I couldn't quote it to you.
One is none, two is one, three is enough. You should always have 3 forms of water, physical water, and 2 ways to create water. So, and then regarding food, you just have food,
I could
and then
create
you'd be
water.
willing to kill
I can
squirrels or
create
rats
water.
or.
I can create water.
You
I
know,
just
Bear
gotta
Grylls
dance
said
around a little bit.
I could just piss.
Yeah, I don't think. No.
Yeah, it'll work once, maybe twice.
Did y'all see that scene?
Blech.
Did y'all see that scene where he got stung by a jellyfish and Mel B from the Spice Girls peed on his hand?
Oh, dude.
That's true.
and it's like a
Dude.
well-known thing that's kind of a myth that peeing.
No,
does-
ammonia neutralizes the acid, neutralizes the
Okay, but
the
hear me
sting.
out though. Hear me out. He had to do it. Hey, game is game, bro. Game
I-
is
Game is game.
Game
she
is game.
offered. That's the thing. All the comments I saw were like, "Isn't it a well-known thing? Like, wouldn't you expect him to know that this isn't actually going to help?" And they're like, "Look, when Mel B offers to pee on your hand, you don't say no." They're here.
Who?
The zombies.
I thought the gate would stop them.
They knocked it down instantly.
How much time do we have?
They're already here.
We should have bought that beautiful Los Angeles dream house in that safe neighborhood that Corinne showed us.
I know, it was so much more defensible, and Corinne would have had us moved in before the apocalypse.
Do you think it's too late to call her now?
I'll try. No! Ah! We should have called Corinne sooner!
Don't wait until it's too late. Call Corinne Salas today at 714-510-6443 and buy your Los Angeles dream house now. That's 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at nexthomebycorinne or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com.
There was so much in this movie, but almost all of it was plot armor. There's like no shot you survive this. Because one, you have to be somewhat important enough to even know that these arcs exist.
Yeah.
And then you have to make your way to China in the midst of all of this to get on it.
And then China has to move 1,500 miles closer to you so that you can actually make it to it with your tank of gas on your plane.
And survive a plane crash in a Bentley.
And survive a plane crash in a Bentley. Hey! That was very Fast and Furious-esque.
That
That
was
was.
very
That's
Fast
why
and
I think
Furious-esque.
that's why we said it. Because I was
Yes.
talking about either Fast.
It was
and
when you saw the
Furious.
cars.
I think I was also talking about the game Uncharted. That's very
Yeah.
Uncharted type.
Although,
Like, you know,
I will say something. The most realistic thing they did in this whole entire movie, at least they didn't drive that Bentley out of there.
yeah, that would
That's
have
true.
been.
Fast and Furious would have. They would have just drove it because there would have been a
Through
road
snow.
right there for them.
And then driven through the snow. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, last thoughts. 2012, you could say survival, or you could say this movie was retarded, or whatever you want to say.
I mean,
mean- You don't survive it, but it's a good movie.
yeah, nobody survives this unless you are incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that monk was definitely sleeping and not meditating at the last part before he rang the bell. Bro was
Yeah.
passed out. And he was like, "Ooh,
Yep.
what's that noise?" Woke up.
Bro, when he saw that wave coming, you saw his face, and it was just, oh shit, he was right.
But yeah, nobody survives this.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for another episode of Will You Survive the Podcast. Remember, you can check us out on all of our socials on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search Will You Survive the Podcast. We also go live on TikTok every Monday, Wednesday, and
That
Friday.
might change because TikTok hates us.
And
Also, TikTok is getting banned, I think. So
TikTok is getting
it's
banned
probably-
in the
probably
United
gonna
States,
hop
but
over to Instagram or
we still have a couple of months, so we're gonna ride this wave as long as we can. And
follow us on Instagram for preparation.
yeah, follow us on Instagram,
Also,
guys. Everybody go
follow
over it.
my account, Gemini the Alpha.
Yes.
Yeah.
TikTok.
So that he
So
can
you
start
can
showing
see
his
my
face on the lives.
face.
And then if you pay him $1,000, he'll get your name tattooed on
I
him.
will. I'm being 100%. I am a money whore.
That includes your number one fan official too.
Yes, it does.
Yep. So with that, we also have an email that we would love to receive any of your comments, your concerns, your criticisms, and we do take them to heart because we are taking this podcast serious. So we'd love to hear what you think. Send your emails to theboys@willyousurvivethepodcast.com. That's THEBOYS at willyousurvivethepodcast.com. And find us. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, know that you can get us on anywhere you get podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, TuneIn. When you find us on TuneIn, we're also on your Alexa. So just tell Alexa, play Will You Survive the Podcast? And she will. Try it out. Tell me. It works.
That's pretty dope.
So with that, we're going to wrap this one up. And as you go back and watch 2012, listen to our wonderful voices and ask yourself, will you survive 2012? And until next time, guys, remember, stay alive.
Stay alive unless you are Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Trip and fall.
What is your deal with this guy?
Just fall down some stairs, preferably.
I've still got
Made
no
out
answer.
of